Where the Eagles stand when it comes to their star wide receiver, A.J. Brown. According to our Adam Schefter, the Eagles are likely to trade A.J. Brown post June 1st to the New England Patriots. Here's Adam Schefter with more earlier today on Get Up.
The two sides are tracking to make a deal happen post June 1st. So that is the situation between the Patriots and the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. The two sides have not committed to a deal, but they are likely to make that happen post June 1. A.J. Brown would like to be traded. The Philadelphia Eagles are open to trading him. The New England Patriots have wanted him all along.
Okay, the New England Patriots have wanted him all along. They're saying Dan Orlovsky is here. Would trading A.J. Brown be the right decision for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes. One, this is going to happen. This isn't out there and all of a sudden going to not happen. So I firmly believe that this is going to be something that's basically done. They're just waiting for the legal element of it to happen. Number one, the relationship in Philly has run its course, whether it's a professional relationship or personal relationship. And the acquisition of AJ was a win. They won a Super Bowl in part because of AJ. He's been tremendous since he's become an Eagle. And then number two is, stylistically, they are going to be a different offense in Philadelphia. They have been an offense since they've really acquired AJ. Shotgun offense. We're going to throw the ball to the perimeter. It's going to be one-on-ones. A lot of the RPO, run-pass option, create one-on-ones. AJ dominated. Now with Sean Mannion, who's coming over from the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers and the Rams as a player, they're bringing that Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan scheme. I fully expect them to go way more into using multiple tight ends rather than the multiple receivers. AJ's still a dominant player. When AJ's at his best, he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL. So I don't want to minimize the hole that it's going to create, but trading him just feels like the necessary thing. We were on the show, I think, in October of last year, and it was AJ once gone. And I just think now it's the realization that both parties see it's the best thing for both sides.
It is the right move because he wants to be gone. What I need us to stop doing is stop dancing around what the real issue and what the real storyline is here. A.J. Brown going to the New England Patriots and reuniting with Coach Mike Vrabel is not the biggest storyline here. The biggest storyline is that the Philadelphia Eagles, a little more than a year removed from a Super Bowl championship, with a Super Bowl MVP in quarterback Jalen Hurts, has an all-world wide receiver being paid $32 million a year plus, wanting to leave. Now tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that makes sense. You know, I mean, at some point in time, we got to have that discussion. And we got to stop acting like we're Fred Astaire, the late, great Gregory Hahn, somebody, and tap dancing around issues. What the hell is going on? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, that is supposed to be the story in the city of Philadelphia. And here you are, Dan, along with you, Shay. You are listening to somebody right now that wrote for the Philadelphia Inquirer for 17 years. I'm giving you insight into what the hell I would be writing. I was a columnist for my last several years there, for the last 7-8 years there. I was a columnist, okay? And I'm telling you, I'd be all over this because it makes no sense. What the hell is going on? He said 5 offensive coordinators, 5 over the last 5 years. I got it, but I've never seen an all-world wide receiver appear to want out so consistently, so demonstratively, you understand, as a guy like A.J. Brown, when you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Ultimately, that has to come back to him. Show me, Dan Orlovsky, you know your history. You know your football backwards and forwards. Just tell me that.
I would tell you that it's not all that different than the Stephon Diggs situation. You know, Steph was dominant in Minnesota. They didn't have the all-world quarterback. He goes to Buffalo, dominant, and that relationship seemed to run its course.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. You said 2 things. You said, number one, they didn't have an all-world quarterback. That was number one. Number 2, if you remember, they were trying to big up Adam Thielen. And he got offended by that because he knew he was a number 1. But Adam Thielen was somebody that they were trying to big up. So those 2 things, it was very, very plausible. The combination of not having an all-world quarterback, not winning, and on top of it all, trying to big up somebody that you thought was inferior to you, which was insulting to Stephon Diggs, made all the sense in the world. Ain't nobody trying to big up somebody over A.J. Brown. Yep. Plus, he got his money. Plus, they won. They're Super Bowl champions. And literally, within months of that, he wants out. I mean, come on now. Sunday, right?
No, I don't
Sunday,
disagree
right?
with what you're saying, Stephen A. My point with Steph was the Buffalo point. But I also would say this. I think, one, the prior friendship might have a little bit of part of this as well. We don't see that often, to my knowledge, that both A.J. and Jalen were pretty close when the acquisition of A.J. Brown to Philly mattered or happened. Two, I'll go back to the point, it worked. They won a Super Bowl. That's part of the reason why you make that trade. And the third part is, I think it's well known right now in this offseason that there's a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It's been pretty well communicated that this is a make or break, so to speak, year. They went and hired an offensive coordinator that runs an offense that Jalen just doesn't do, nor does he do it well. And so I think it's pretty clear in Philadelphia whether you agree with it or not. That's why I said, Stephen A., like the opinions and the facts don't matter when it comes to Jalen Hurts, or they don't match. The facts are some of the accomplishments that you rattled off, and the opinions vary all over the place. But I think, to be fair, everyone's kind of under the same thought process. This is an enormous year for Jalen Hurts, indifferent of all the accomplishments he has.
Here's what I want to say about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a winner. Jalen Hurts wins. Give credit where credit is due in that regard. But you can be a winner, but also not perceived as the greatest thrower of the football. And when it comes to a wide receiver, they want somebody that could fling that damn football. That's what they want. We all know this. And I'm not trying to sit up there and say that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship is salty. I don't know. I don't cover the team like that. I have no idea. What I'm saying is that if I'm an all-world receiver, we've won a Super Bowl championship, we're winning football games. I'm not trying to leave that situation if I'm an all-world receiver, and I believe I have an all-world quarterback. At some point in time, we have to, because I know there's going to be an abundance of people that want to come to the defense of Jalen Hurts, whether it's the Kimberly Martins or it's the Ryan Clarks, it's the Swagoos, whomever. And they're all right to do so. Hell, I want to, because the man is a winning Super Bowl MVP. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes and not one, but both Super Bowls. We get all of that. But somebody has to say, clearly, A.J. Brown, no matter what lip service he gives on Micah Parsons' podcast or anywhere else, he clearly doesn't have the belief in the star quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles that a star wide receiver should have for a quarterback. He doesn't have that belief, because if he did, there's no way on earth he'd be wanting out like he does. There's no way. There's just no way.
The reality is the stats are pretty similar when A.J. Brown did play for the Eagles last year and when he didn't. In fact, in the 2 games he was on the sideline, they actually had more receiving touchdowns than they did when he was in the game. Listen, this is the first of 2 breakups we want to see this offseason, okay? The next one now is Giannis and the Bucks. Coming up here, the Celtics and Thunder both rolled in their Game 1 respectively.